So I'm Reese Murphy. I'm a virtual production specialist, technician and operator for on-set virtual production.
Why are you doing the challenge?
So I first heard about the challenge through David Stapp's YouTube channel, Virtual Production Insider, and it kind of caught my attention. Recently, I was given the opportunity to help open up a virtual production studio in Scotland. So what made me want to actually do the challenge was to kind of get use out of the space. I want all of my friends to be able to come in and use this space. I want there to be an industry in Scotland, and I want people to be able to make cool things. And to be able to offer that space and that kind of service to people was really, really inviting. So essentially, I want to use it as a way to show off what I can do and, what sort of shots you can get in this space. One of my biggest goals in this was to try and get as many projects in as we possibly could.
What is your film idea?
So it took me a while to come up with a film idea. I came up with quite a few, to be honest. The 60-second time limit was really, really challenging to try and come up with something. So I settled on the idea of making use of a countdown. And what has countdowns in films? To me, it was a bomb. So I decided that the entire story was going to be about a bomb defusal. Now, again, I had quite a few ideas as to how this would go, stemming from it being incredibly tense, incredibly funny, all these sorts of different things. So, what I eventually decided on was two guys kind of being a bit nonchalant about it, and having a couple of different locations, mainly being two, a couple of different lighting scenarios, and kind of focusing on simple shots done well to show that the kind of workflow works, all that sort of stuff. The story follows these two guys conversing about how to defuse the bomb, with one of them getting progressively annoyed that the other one is not helping him because he isn't being very nice to him.
Have you any experience in virtual production? If so, how did that affect your approach?
So yeah, I've actually got a fair bit of experience in virtual production. I have a master's in virtual production from the Academy of Live Technology, and I actually started out in game art and progressed on to do a 3D design master's as well. So yeah, and since graduating, I have been working in the virtual production space. I've managed to get on a couple of shoots, be in quite a few studios. I've even been flown across to the Netherlands to give a talk about my master's project, which is actually where I met David. He was kind enough to be interviewed for my master's project, which was fantastic. So my experience has helped me in many ways, really. That little bit of production experience that I've got alongside my education has helped me kind of narrow down what is realistic in 60 seconds, what was realistic in the time frame given to complete the project. How many crew do you need? What size of space do you need? What type of shots are possible with what sort of equipment you've got? All sorts of stuff like that. And having access to the limited equipment that we do have, I think I was able to design some shots that made the most out of that, and with certain instances managed to get some pretty flawless execution.
How did the shoot go?
Overall, the shoot went really, really well. It happened in this space here right behind me, the Virtual Production Scotland studio. It's a very small space, it's quite limited. We have limited bits of kit, but all the guys who came in to help out were fantastic. So massive shout out to James, Josh, Ben and Ross. They were all fantastic. The shoot itself ran quite smoothly. We encountered a few technical issues on the day as we were still in the midst of setting up the actual workflow itself. Essentially, how we want to do things here is a green screen live composite workflow, but slightly different to just an on-set preview monitor. What we want to be able to do is walk away at the end of a day with your final composited shot in hand. So yeah, the shoot went incredibly well once it actually started. As I say, it was a bit later than we expected. We ran on until about 10 p.m. But the guys were incredibly kind and sticking around to help out. Lighting the shots went very well, the camera movement went well, focus went well, calibration went well. We managed to get everything done.
Any final thoughts?
So it was incredibly exciting for me as a co-director of this space to have people in, have people who are interested in virtual production be able to make use of a virtual production space. the guys were going on about how for them they're used to working out of a bedroom or a small living room. So having a space like this available to them to see their creativity kind of explode when they come in here, seeing the shots that they could come up with was just fantastic. And being surrounded by all these people who want to make and want to create, having that hunger and drive for it was kind of infectious, to be honest. We were bouncing off of each other for the few days that we were in the studio. And being able to really nail down that workflow, particularly for myself, was incredibly valuable. Overall, I thought the Virtual Filmmakers Challenge was a fantastic experience. It gave me the chance to bring some friends together and just create, which is always such a rewarding process. On top of that, it pushed me and James to design and implement a live composite system, which was definitely one of the highlights for myself. I'm especially proud of the technical side of my submission, as that's really where I poured a lot of effort into. Now, the acting, well, let's just say I'm not expecting any Oscars anytime soon, but even so, I feel like I was able to tell an interesting and visually compelling story within the 60 seconds, and honestly, that's what this challenge was all about: experimenting, learning, and just seeing what was possible. So, a massive thanks to everyone who put this together. I am really glad I got to be a part of it.